Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I have an amazing article for you guys today. I'm gonna go over basically the status of the housing market, and this article really is amazing because at the end I'm gonna tell you about some tips when buying a home when prices are too high. So you want to stick around to the end of the video. But basically, I'm not gonna try to make it too long, but it might come out a little long because there's just so much information. Check this out. Home prices are still high, but they are not rising quite as much. Now, I know a lot of people are starting to get that FOMO. They're thinking, oh my God, there's no crash coming. What the hell? I need to get into a house. And here's the deal, right? If you, like I've said in many videos in the past, if you find a dream house that you can afford, hopefully you have at least 20% down, which is really going to help. It's going to help, get you a better rate, and you don't have to pay PMI insurance. But if you could get into a house that you could, again, like that you could make the mortgage payments and all that, then it's never a bad time to jump in. And that is the truth. And, the way I see it, because you're buying things long term, right? You're buying things for 30 years. And what this article basically says that it is very, very difficult to time the bottom. Now, what do we know about the housing market is that housing market slows down during the winter. So if you are looking for a really good deal, this is the time to do it. Like between, like we're running out of time. As things start getting warmer, more people start putting their house up in the market and prices start going up because most people like to buy a house in the summer. Why? Because the weather's better, right? Kids are out of school. Think about a family that's looking to buy their first home, right? They want to, have the kids start at a fresh school at the beginning of the year. So you could basically count that most families are probably going to wait till the summer to buy a house, right? Unless something crazy happens. But anyways, prices do go up in the summer. So one of the things is definitely buying in the winter is a good idea. And but again, I still personally feel the prices are incredibly high. Now, is there a crash coming in the near future? What could bring it down? The only thing that's going to bring down the housing market is basically if rates keep going up and we start seeing huge unemployment rates where people can't afford to pay their home. The problem with that is that the main problem with that is that people recently refinanced in the last 2 years when rates were like at 3%. So, or like a little bit over like 3.5, whatever. So those people are definitely not going to be eager to move out of their house. Why? Because if you sell and buy something else, well, guess what? You're gonna end up paying so much more on that new loan, right? So a lot of people are just kind of sitting tight. And unless, like I said, unless we see a huge economic drop where the stock market goes down a lot, where we see a lot of delinquencies when it comes to people not paying their mortgages, then we just have an explosion of supply. Problem is, right now there is no supply, and that is what was the problem last year. Because of the lack of supply, you basically had people just bidding the prices up like crazy on homes, right? Nobody wanted to move during coronavirus. Now, here are some areas that are doing really good. Check this out. Let me read right here. As always in real estate, it's a matter of here. Let me highlight it. As always in real estate, it's a matter of location. The Northeast regions had the highest year-over-year price appreciation in Q4 with a 5.3 percentage growth, and the South saw 4.9 percentage, and the Midwest 4, and the West saw 2.6. Now the West obviously is really expensive, but man, check that out. Even with high interest rates, things are still going up. Now this is in the metro area, guys. So obviously the outskirts are always going to move a lot slower than the cities. Why? Because there's jobs in the cities, right? Okay, so check this out. I wanted to show you. So the housing affordability, we're doing pretty good. Look at this right here. According to the report, families typically spend 26.2% of their income on mortgage payments, and it is up from 17.5% a year ago. That's quite a bit, but you really want to be under 28%. So again, 26% is still under 28. is not that drastic. Now, check this out. If you're a first home time buyer, you have a specific first time home buyers have a specifically difficult time when it comes to affordability. According to the NAR report, the typical starter home valued at $322,000 with a 10% down comes with a monthly mortgage payment of $19,031, almost $700 more than a year ago. But remember, a year ago, prices were still a little, well, actually, they were climbing. They really hit that peak in June. So, yeah, so if you would have bought a year ago today, that same house, hopefully for the same price, probably was cheaper, you would have been paying $700 less. Now, here it tells you, should you wait to buy a house? Well, this is like I said earlier, it is very, very difficult to time it, right? Okay, here is a great paragraph right here. Check this out. Bear in mind that if you buy now, you can begin to build equity immediately and avoid future interest rates hikes. If you have good credit, enough savings for a down payment, and plan to stay in the house for several years, you might want to start house hunting, regardless of the real estate market. If your situation is weak in any of those areas, you might want to wait. And I couldn't agree with this article more. Now, when you're buying a home and the prices are high, there's some things. Well, this is not just when the prices are high. This is just great knowledge when you are buying a home, regardless of the price. But basically, the first thing you want to do is get pre-approved. You need the pre-approval letter. You need to go to a mortgage banker. You need to ask for the pre-approval letter. You give that pre-approval letter to your real estate agent, and you guys then go house hunting. You gotta know what you could afford, and you gotta know, that a bank is going to be able to lend you that money. So this, just getting that pre-approval, it's not that, if you have a W-2 job, obviously it's going to be a lot better. If you have stated income, unfortunately it's going to be harder for you. The mortgage banks love W-2s. They do not like stated income. So they charge you a little bit more because they know that people with stated incomes, their money goes up and down. It's not as steady as if you were a W-2 employee. Now, the second thing to consider is the season. Like I said earlier, winter residential real estate traditional slow season can offer the best buying opportunities. You'll face less competition and more motivated sellers. So basically, why do you have less competition? Because like I said, most people that are buying a house, they'd rather buy a house in the summer. They almost rather pay a little bit more in the summer because it's better for the kids. And again, it's a long-term investment. Here's another great tip. Do not be careful when you buy a home as is, because you don't want a fixer-upper that turns into a total rebuild. Right now, the price to fix things in the house is really, really expensive. I'm talking like kitchens could cost you $50,000. Bathrooms could cost you $25,000 or more. So just be careful, because there's one thing when you buy the house already built and it's ready to go, you factor all that into the mortgage payment. But when you got to go and do a remodel, you got to pay cash, right? You got to pay those employees cash money. And, who has $50,000 laying around for a bathroom? And then when you see what you can get for for a kitchen, who has $50,000, laying around for a kitchen? And if you see what you get for $20,000 for a kitchen, then it's almost like, oh my God, I'd rather not even do it, right? So they really push you towards that higher end because, it looks nice and it's your home, right? But again, $50,000 for a kitchen is still a lot of money. And, with inflation, everything is costing more these days. Now, check this out. This one I don't really agree with. Look at less expensive neighborhoods. Real estate markets are highly local, and you might get a lot more bang for your housing buck in another area. Look, my rule of thumb for me is buy the cheapest house in the nicest neighborhood. Why? Because a high tide lifts all boats. And when the nice neighborhoods go up in price, your property will appreciate a lot faster than if you go to a lower income cheaper area. Those homes will not rise as fast. Now, another thing to think about is the school district. I gotta tell you guys, please just listen. If you listen to anything I said in this whole video, just you pay attention to this one tip. You have to buy where there's a good school district. Like, you need to be in a school district that has 8, 9s, and 10s. Preferably all your schools should be 10s, okay? And usually when you have schools that are all 10s, the neighborhoods are going to be a little bit more expensive. But let me tell you, nothing drives property more than a great school district, okay? So just don't forget about that. Whatever you do, if you look at a house and you're like, oh my God, this house is so affordable. It's $125,000. Go scroll down on Zillow and look at the school districts. And if they're 1s, 2s, and 3s, do not buy in that neighborhood. Okay, do not do it, because your house is never going to appreciate, right? It's gonna always be low. Why? Because the schools suck, and that's a big, big deal. Now, if you don't have 20% down, you could always get a FHA loan or a VA loan if you're a veteran. And a VA loan, you basically put no money down, which is pretty insane. And an FHA loan, you could put as little as 3.5%. The only problem is when you put less than 20, mortgage banks sometimes require you to pay PMI insurance, which is just in case you can't make your mortgage. It protects the bank, but it is an extra added cost to your monthly payment. I always recommend people to see if they could save 20%, but I know in these economic times, it is very, very hard to save that much, right? If a house is $500,000, saving 20%, you need like you need 100,000, but you really need more than 100,000. And then right when you get in, like, you probably need about 120 or something, but right when you get in, you got to fix stuff. You got to rip out carpet, whatever. So you need at least another 10, 15 grand disposable or on credit cards, whatever, that you can use to basically upgrade the house real quick. Well, check this out. I thought this was a great, great article. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. It's a little long, I feel like, but you know what? It's great, great information. Now, please go ahead and give me your comments. What do you guys think? How do you see the housing market shaping up now as we head into the summer months? It's going to be really, really interesting, but please, I want to hear your thoughts. If you like my videos, please don't forget to smash that subscribe button and go ahead and like and leave a comment. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next video.